It's funny how things come to full circle. The current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Sir Keir Starmer, is set to lose his seat in Parliament to a South African. And what is more, this particular South African, an ANC member and an extreme left-wing ideologue, is leading Starmer in the polls for his constituency. In the UK, unlike other countries such as South Africa, the Prime Minister must be someone who can command the confidence of the House of Commons. In practice, that means that they must be an elected member of Parliament. This means if a sitting Prime Minister loses his constituency, like Starmer is predicted to do, as our ANC friend is leading quite significantly in opinion polling, and thus ceases to be a member of Parliament, he must abdicate. He is no longer constitutionally legitimate to continue in office. Does this situation sound ludicrous? Well, that's the world we live in today. Let's dive into why this is happening first, and then we can talk about who our ANC member South African is and what he represents. Good morning, dear friends, Willem Petzer speaking. For more analysis like this, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and join our WhatsApp group for free updates. The Willem Petzer group brings you free updates on the work we are doing straight to your WhatsApp. To sign up, just send your name and surname to the number on your screen right now. London, where Starmer has held the constituency in North London since 2015, saw a huge demographic shift in the past decade. Today, the population of London overall is only 36.8% ethnic white British. Due to the demographic shifts in the UK, people moved to political extremes and started voting along racial lines. On the one side, ethnic Brits polled to vote for the right-wing nationalist party Reform UK, which is currently leading the polls at 12 times higher than all ethnic minorities combined, when ironically the minorities combined are actually now the majority in London. On the other side, Jeremy Corbyn, who was expelled from Starmer's centre-left Labour Party for being a little bit too extreme, started his own new party. On 24 July 2025, Jeremy Corbyn and former Labour MP Zara Sultana launched a new left-wing political movement, provisionally called Your Party, via their website yourparty.uk. However, no official name has been selected yet. In just days after the launch, the movement claimed to have signed up 500,000 people within 3 days, rising to over 600,000 members shortly after, making it not only one of the fastest growing political collectives in modern British history, but globally. This brings us to our ANC member friend, Andrew Feinstein, who will be contesting Starmer's seat and, as things currently stand, is set to win the seat. Andrew Feinstein was born in Cape Town in 1964. His parents fled from Austria to South Africa as refugees during Adolf Hitler's reign. During this time, South Africa took in many Jewish refugees fleeing the Nazis all over Europe. Feinstein Sr. joined the South African Communist Party, the intellectual wing of the African National Congress, like many other Jewish immigrants who fled Europe during this time period, and their children did. Alongside Joe Slovo, Ruth First, Lionel Bernstein, Albie Sachs, Dennis Goldberg, and many more. As communism was outlawed in apartheid South Africa, Feinstein, who followed in his father's footsteps, grew up in underground communist cells. After the ANC took over South Africa in 1994, Feinstein Jr. became a prominent ANC politician. From 1994 to 2001, he served as an ANC MP under Nelson Mandela, working on finance reform and drafting the Public Finance Management Act. However, he quickly became disillusioned when he found out that his ANC comrades cared very little about his communist utopian dreams and only cared about lining their own pockets by looting the state coffers. Feinstein was one of the only few voices in the ANC that opposed Nelson Mandela's decision to not investigate or prosecute any of the comrades who looted state funds during the Sarafina corruption scandal in 1996. His turning point came in 2001. He resigned in protest when the ANC refused to investigate yet another corruption scandal tied to a $10 billion arms deal. Since then, he moved to the UK and stayed active in far-left politics. He has since joined Corbyn's new movement and is set to take Starmer's parliamentary seat from him. Before we get back to what is happening in the UK at the present time, it is important that we get this message out so the West don't make the same mistakes South Africa did. Therefore, be sure to send this video to any friends you might have in the UK. And take 30 seconds to see how you can help us keep producing this kind of content. Many of you ask how you can help. We know life is busy and tough. Not everyone can volunteer or travel across the country like we do. That's why we've dedicated our lives to this cause, to fight for the future of our people, our children and our culture. But we can't do it alone. You can help by becoming a member with just a small monthly contribution. It's quick and easy. Send the word "sign me up" to our WhatsApp number and we'll call you to explain the process and further benefits. If each supporter takes this small step, we can keep this fight alive and protect what truly matters. When Sir Kier Starmer was elected Prime Minister of the United States in July 2024, his voters had hoped that his term in office would bring an end to the UK's ongoing cost of living crisis and sluggish economy. After 14 years of Conservative Party rule, the British public was discontented with political leadership and demanded a change. After all, ever since David Cameron's resignation in 2016 following the Brexit referendum, the UK has had no less than 4 different Conservative Party Prime Ministers, none of whom managed to turn the ship around. Starmer pledged economic growth, which resonated with voters, with the Labour Party achieving a historic victory, winning almost 34% of the national vote, with the Conservative Party coming in second at just under 24%. Yet, despite all the promises, more than a year into its term as UK Prime Minister, Starmer's government has failed to deliver on any. In fact, Starmer's public approval has plummeted. Less than 30% of the British public currently approve of his leadership, with his Labour government's popularity continuing to decline by the day. In fact, his approval ratings are now similar to those of the highly unpopular Conservative government that the Labour Party unseated last year. But Kier Starmer's political woes are bound to get even worse. In the UK, to be elected Prime Minister, one also has to be an elected member of the House of Commons, representing a local constituency. Starmer has been elected to the British House of Commons as a representative of the Holborn and St Pancras constituency in the City of London, an established Labour Party stronghold in one of the country's most liberal areas. Last year, Starmer won the constituency with just 49% of the vote, but what is tremendously interesting is that the man who came in second is someone who has also represented South Africa's ruling party, the African National Congress. Andrew Feinstein contested last year's election as an independent candidate. Now, independent candidates usually have a very hard time doing well in countries with established political parties such as the United Kingdom, and yet he managed to gather almost 20% of the vote in Holborn and St Pancras. This week it has been revealed that in the next election, Feinstein will no longer run as an independent, but as a representative of a new party formed by former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn. The socialist rhetoric underpinning the new party is telling, and it is not surprising that Feinstein has chosen this as his new political home. Now, the Daily Mail has reported that the UK Prime Minister could actually lose his seat to the ANC-connected Feinstein in the next general election. Feinstein, who describes himself on his official X account, which has more than 90,000 followers, as an activist and former ANC Member of Parliament, first and foremost wrote a book in 2017 entitled After the Party, in which he describes his personal journey in the ANC, while also exposing the corruption within his own party at the time, highlighting why he has become disillusioned with South African politics and opted for exile in the United Kingdom. Feinstein was a prominent advisor to Nelson Mandela and served as an ANC Member of Parliament from 1997 to 2001 and as a prominent member of its Finance Committee. He's also a very prominent activist for the Palestinian cause. He has described Israeli apartheid, as he put it, as worse than South African apartheid.
Jobs were reserved only for whites. except the menial jobs. Where my wife, who is Bangladeshi, and I not only weren't allowed to live in the same place, not only weren't allowed to be in a relationship, it was illegal for us to be alone in a car together. That was the absurdity of the apartheid system. And I can tell you today, with all conviction, that Israeli apartheid is even worse than South African apartheid.
He's a well-known activist for all the major leftist causes, including mass immigration and multiculturalism, and all indications are that he can play a major role in Corbyn's new political party, which is already positioned on the far left of the political spectrum, particularly as a counterforce to Nigel Farage's Reform Party.
Reform only offer a message of division and blame. All they do is say that every social problem in our society is somehow or other the fault of extremely vulnerable minorities. They are a dangerously divisive force in our society. What we're offering instead is to bring people together so we collectively face the issues of poverty, the issues of bad housing, the issues of underfunded education. So we face those issues together. Reform are a road to danger.
Everything, therefore, points to the fact that Feinstein is aiming to bring the very same destructive ideas that the ANC has employed in South Africa to United Kingdom politics. The fact that the current British Prime Minister is so immensely unpopular that he can now be unseated in the House of Commons by an ANC comrade from the Mandela and Mbeki eras shows just what an absolute wasteland politics in the United Kingdom has become. With the country suffering from rising poverty and crime levels and political instability, the likes of Feinstein are the very last thing the British people need right now. Remember to become a member of the Willem Petzer group. Goodbye and God bless.